So in 1995, I got a postcard in the mail, and it was from my uncle Peter Stewart, who was in Nepal, Kathmandu at the time. And this was pre-internet. You couldn't Google anything. And on this postcard had a picture of the Himalayas. And I just remember getting it. And from that point, it was like a dream. It was seared into my mind, into my imagination. And for the coming decade, all I would do is dream about, romanticize about being in the Himalayas. And to be here now and to take trips here, it still feels like a dream to me. For a lot of the people who come on these trips, they've been dreaming, just like I dreamt for all those years, about the Himalayas. There's something magic about them. It's mystical. It draws you in. When you land in a place like Tamil, where the guys have landed at the moment, you can't help but feel that. So what I want for them out of this experience is to have an experience that they just didn't feel was possible. It's the bringing to life of all their dreams. And at the end of it, I hope that they've added a new page to their book of life, and forever that they'll remember this like the dream that I started with all those years ago.
Life is a series of moments, each with a limit that we rarely see coming. Clearly, not every moment announces itself, and not every last time feels significant until it's already passed, and sometimes well after it's passed. The reality is, there will come a time when you'll have done something for the final time, and you will rarely know when that is. But it will come, quietly and inevitably. How easy and often that we can move through our days distracted, lost in thought, treating time as something that renews without an end. But what if we saw every moment as something precious? Every sip of coffee, every blue sky or sunset, every touch. The wind as it ripples across the water. Each foot planted as you make that climb. The gift is not time itself, but awareness in that moment. You can live for decades without ever being fully here. So here is the challenge. Each time you notice you've drifted and return to the present, recognize this small awakening and savor it. And a life made up of many small awakenings can become something extraordinary. Connect with life, because the only alternative is to be lost in thought. And every time you notice that you're lost and you come back, it may feel like an effort at first, but eventually it's like continually waking up from a dream and being present.
The really beautiful thing about bringing this bunch of people together is that you get a group of people who ordinarily wouldn't be friends or hang out. And at the start, there can be big age differences, different backgrounds, but by the end, they're lifelong friends. And it really teaches us that despite what we often think, people are different to us, we're more alike than we are different. And being immersed in a trip like this really brings that connection together as a group and brings the best out of people. So one tip that I have for everyone at this point is just to breathe. Take it in. Don't wish the days and hours away. Don't rush your way through the trip. Enjoy the adversity and enjoy the beauty and just take it all in. So at this point of the trip in Pokhara, it's 8,022 meters. We've just flown in from Kathmandu. Pokhara is a beautiful place by the lakeside. We're getting the safety briefing done, we're checking all the gear, and we're mentally preparing everyone for what's coming in the next couple of days, which is hitting the mountains and the real stuff starts.
Double set.
Oh, well done.
But Auntie wanted a picture.
And just as you're about to go, they tell you that there's only a 5% chance you'll get stuck halfway along.
It was good. It was good fun. Good to see Matt scream.
I did it. I didn't squeal like a baby like Matt.
That's usually confident. Everyone gets on camera. Learn around the be together. We're going to do a safety briefing, and I'm just going to share a little bit about what the trip means to me, and hopefully for you. You really can't go into countries like this and get off the grid like we're going to do without someone amazing like Sanju. It's easy to do the basic routes that everyone does, but something like this is much more difficult. The guys will check over your bikes in the morning, grease your chain and have it all going. So they're there for support, mechanicals and so forth, access to your bag. We also have a satellite phone and also a telephone here, so we've got a range of redundancies. The normal rules we're conditioned to, people won't be following those rules that we're conditioned to know, right? Which really brings it back to then, the number one rule is about just riding within your comfort. You'll just know what that is. No one needs you to push, this isn't a race. We're there just to enjoy the journey. You've got to know each other, you get so used to seeing each other, and then all of a sudden you don't. So we've all come for different reasons. There's different meaning attached to this for each one of you. And really my job is to help facilitate that experience for you and for you to get out of it what you came here to get out of it.
Everything represents a finite opportunity to savor your life. On some level, everything is precious. And if it doesn't seem that way, I think you'll find that paying more attention can make it.
I'm going to walk around and I'm going to give you a bracelet that has FTLT on it, which stands for the last time. It's up to you what you do with it. You may choose to wear it on your wrist, you may choose to put it on your backpack, you may put it in your backpack, you may put it on your bike, it's up to you. But the purpose of it is, every time you see it on the trip, it just reminds you to adopt and embody that mindset of for the last time. Enjoy the climb of the hill, enjoy the dust, enjoy sleeping in the hard bed, enjoy connecting with each other, enjoy the scenery, enjoy being able to just have health and move your body. Use it as a tool to train your attention to be in the moment and not wish your way through the trip as fast as possible. Every day and every moment will likely be for the last time, and most people will never return. It's an absolute privilege, and I'm looking forward to getting on the plane tomorrow and starting the journey. The early start in Pokhara is full of anticipation. Today's a day that we fly into Jomsom, and we get in a small plane and we go across a really sketchy sort of ridge pass on the way in and land into a beautiful airport. It's about 2,700 meters above sea level, so it's a really big jump up, and we'll put our bikes together, and this is where things really start in terms of the trip and the riding, and we really get into it. At this point in Pokhara, when we get up early, everyone's feeling the tension because they know that we're leaving the lakeside and they know that we're heading into Jomsom at 2,700 meters, putting our bikes together, and the real stuff starts. But there's also just that air of excitement, like getting in a small plane. It's a beautiful flight. You can see all the mountains along the way. So it's a mix of excitement and anticipation at this point.
2,700 metres above sea level, the ancient town of Jomson stirs awake. The gateway to one of Nepal's most mystical regions, Upper Mustang. Once a hidden kingdom, Mustang guarded the trade routes between Tibet and India. Generations still tell the stories of distant merchants, meditating monks in the distant caves, kings and explorers. Here the spirit of Tibetan culture lives on.
You'll catch on, so don't leave me hanging.
Alright, we'll build on it.
Resilient, untouched and enduring. As the riders push off, the Kali Gandaki River carves a path beside them, its waters older than memory itself. They ride through a land sculptured by time, ochre cliffs, hidden caves and villages where prayer flags dance against the sapphire sky. Every pedal forward is a step deeper into a living history, where ancient monasteries cling to canyon walls and the traditions of the Loga people breathe life into the stones and soil. Reaching Kagbeni is more than a ride. It is the first unknowing step as our known world starts to peel away and immersion commences into a culture forged by isolation, devotion, and an unyielding spirit of the mountains, the Himalayas. At first, they are the scenery. Later, many describe them as sacred. What's certain is that all believe the Himalayas draw you in, wraps its vast white wings around you.
Well done. Good job. Well done. Glad you made it.
As diverse as we are on entering the Himal, on departure, unity is assured within the grip of the mountains. Kagbeni, a timeless sentinel, almost medieval, where the spirit of Mustang breathes through narrow streets and pathways, bizarre sculptures and sacred carved Mani stones. Here stands the Kagcho Tukten Senful Ling Monastery, founded in 1429. The tall, rammed red earth walls a beacon of devotion and guarding the gateway to Upper Mustang.
It goes all the way down that tube and all the way there.
As the riders push forward, the land itself begins to tell its story. Around Chuksong, the cliffs rise like walls of a forgotten kingdom, turning crimson, gold and grey as we roll on. Towards Samar, the trail climbs higher into this dreamlike geology, where the earth itself seems to remember the tides, the winds, the footsteps of pilgrims and the tribes of the past. In Mustang, the journey is written not just in miles, but in memories, etched deep into every stone that murmurs on the rare mountain air.
So at this point, we're at 3,000 meters, and this is where I find it gets really serious. Often we have travelers coming from Australia and they haven't ridden at altitude before. So they start to get headaches, multiple days of fatigue. They're not sleeping well. It starts to get really real from here. So pushing their bikes up, feeling like they're gasping for air. Their mind and body feel like they're disconnected in terms of what they want to do and how fast they feel like they can go. They've never had to push their bike like they've pushed before, carry their bike up hills they'd normally ride up. So the next couple of days are really tough physically, but mentally it's a really big adjustment that individuals need to make.
This breathtaking landscape was not born of mountain, but of ocean. Millions of years ago, this was the floor of an ancient sea. Today, fossils of that millennia are still collected. The slow collision of continents thrusts the seabed skyward, leaving behind layers of sandstone, limestone and shale, sculpted by the relentless hand of the wind and river into the surreal.
Oh, fantastic. Don't panic. It's huge.
Thank you. Good job. Well done.
Just remember to keep your distance. Please don't go ahead of the thing as you're riding. And Jav, you want to give us a Rumbo Cha? Rumbo Cha! Rumbo Cha!
Be careful, be careful. Slow down. Yeah. Stop. Slow down. Ik ga naar voren, hè.
Okay.
You just got lifted down.
Oh yeah. I gotta sort my head out.
Yeah, what happened?
Oh, I fucking landed straight on my bike. My first thought was ribs are fucked. I'm done.
So when we get you up, we will put the jacket on to keep you warm. Yeah, good. Okay, so put this on and the other one, just make sure you're nice and warm. Cool. And it's going to keep you talking. So we pick up if you're on the front door, not feeling well.
Yeah.
All right. So one person either side of him. Hang on, just so I just need to just keep talking.
Better, still a bit of blurry vision, but fuck. That was a lot of, that first instinct, I was like, fuck. I was done. Yeah, I was trying to figure out evacuation plans. Yeah, so I think I overtook Matt and built up some speed to overtake him, because it was downhill descent. Couldn't control my speed, kept speeding up, hit some loose rocks, straight up, like a spike slid under me, straight up in the air. I think I landed on my bike, and holy shit, couldn't move for about 30 seconds there, but...
Yeah, what was the first thing that came into your mind?
Broken ribs, hospital. But it slowly started to get better. Could take deep breaths, could cough, got better, so I was... And now I just gotta... Hopefully it keeps going that way, but we'll see.
Out of 10? What do you give the ribs?
Now, like a 2.
Where's your pain? He's starting to feel quite clammy, very unwell, feel like he wants to vomit. So I don't think he hit his head, but one of the things I've been worried about is, he's reported right from the start a lot of pain under the ribs. Obviously you've got your kidney and so forth in there. You can get bleeding on the inside from that. So I've got Michael just monitoring him and taking stuff, but we probably do need to start just thinking about steps. I'm just bringing up his insurance details and so forth. Unfortunately, we're probably going to have to call and start thinking what the possibilities are if he had internal bleeding, for example. I mean, that's the worst case scenario, but we need to start thinking about that sort of thing.
Still the whole chest.
I mean, how do you know he hasn't got a ruptured spleen?
I don't know.
Exactly right. So we need to be prepared that if he gets a lot worse.
Only thing we can do for him is take him to the car.
Yeah.
To Johnson.
Yeah. Pain around here? Increase. Okay. So we think we're going to take you back to Johnson. Okay, because you need to be evacuated. Helicopter, they can get in without a permit in the morning. But yeah, they can't. It's just much harder if things go sideways here. Okay, what are your symptoms? Increased respiratory rate. What's his respiratory rate?
I mean, I lost count, but it was up in 20s.
Okay. What else are you feeling? Feeling faint?
Pain in the chest.
Pain in the chest.
9 out of 10.
Where's the pain? Okay, into there, both sides.
Mostly here.
Yeah. Right, well, we'll start making plans to do that. I'll call you and
How do you get to Johnson?
Boot Jeep, 3 hours. So yeah, Angus's symptoms have worsened quite a bit. We've been monitoring him, so we're going to evacuate him now to Pokhara, where there's a medical facility. So it's about 3 hours to Johnson from here, and then another 6-7 hours to Pokhara, and we'll get him assessed from there.
You heading as well?
Yeah, I'm going to go, and so is Dipendra. We'll monitor him and take it from there. Sanjib will continue leading the group from here, and hopefully I'll see them in a day or so. So I've just got back from seeing Angus off, we had to take him down to Johnson and fly him into Kathmandu. So turns out that he has ruptured his spleen, 50% of it, and has a hemothorax, so some blood in around the lungs. So the reality is that we're 8-hour jeep ride away from any medical help. So when he hurt himself yesterday and he started to deteriorate, straight away we knew we had to get him closer to medical support. So you can't get helicopters up here after lunch, so if anyone's injured from about 12 o'clock onwards, there's no chance of getting someone helied out. So we started to monitor Angus yesterday. He started to deteriorate, so we put him in the jeep. We got him down to Johnson. He'd stabilised there, and we were able to get a helicopter in first thing this morning and get him into Kathmandu. So yeah, they've done a CT. They've confirmed the spleen is about 50% of it has a laceration, and he's in ICU at the moment, but he's stable, and fingers crossed he goes well. But it's just a reminder about how remote we really are, the environment that we're in, and that really any injury you've got to take really seriously and have plans to get people to safety.
Beyond the high passes and the endless wind, cradled amongst 7,000-metre Himalayan peaks that puncture the skies along the Tibetan border, rests Lomanthang, the walled city of the last Himalayan kingdom. It was only in 1992 that this world, beyond the middle mountains of the Himalaya, was permitted entry. Still today, but just 33 years on, across the black waters of the mighty Kali Gandaki River, from Kagbeni, we venture through the gates of Lomanthang. And at that moment, you step into a living history, unbroken over centuries, amongst a community rightfully proud. In Lomanthang, the past is not forgotten. It is alive.
It was sold as an adult, but instead like 40 kilos, just over 40 kilos now, so. This one.
Oh yeah.
A bit of pasta.
Comes up. We'll talk about the biking route when we get at the top. With our bikes, they'll follow on the horses a bit later, so we'll see them come past us. The hike today will take somewhere between 3 and 4 hours, depending. Sanjeev's going to be at the front, Yeti will be at the back. Just go at your own pace, there's no rush. Just stay well hydrated.
And Penny came and spoke to me yesterday and said that she felt that she'd give a good rumbo char. And is there any reason I hadn't asked her to do it yet? So I said, today's your day.
Rumbo
Rumbo char!
From Pangi, the trail vanishes into the wild. Beyond the last cluster of white stupas, there are no roads, only well-worn goat tracks and those of locals and occasional intrepid travellers. These are the trails carved by time, salt traders and pilgrims crossing between Nepal and Tibet. This is a land beyond reach. No cars, no cities, only the raw pulse of the mountains, the fascination with the landscape and the endless, ever-blue sky above. Riders ascend into repeat passes soaring above 4,000 metres, where the bones of the earth are laid bare, and giants of stone tower on every horizon, framed by the sacred peaks of Dhaulagiri and Annapurna, and Tibet now over our shoulder.
Something happens after a long way from help, so please just be safe.
Every turn reveals new wonders, hidden valleys and ridges so vast and long they seem to reach for the heavens themselves, one after another. The climbs ultimately reveal the joy of descending. From the high passes, the Kaligandaki Valley calls. Another turn, and from nowhere, Chuksong rises at the confluence of the Nashing and Kaligandaki rivers. From that riverbed is a village, built on riverstone and carved out by the resilient community. After days in the untouched wilderness, Chuksong is not just a destination, it is a return to water and the connection to those that are the eternal heartbeat of Mustang.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Hala. Happy birthday to you. Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Happy 7th birthday, baby. She'll love it. Thank you so much. Well, what you did you crack?
Yeah.
How the boys doing?
Getting toasty?
Right. These stones soft.
That's you for the night.
All roped up.
This is your outfit. This is the get up.
I think so.
Yeah.
This is my lifeblood. That's gonna have to do.
All the layers.
As we're sitting here in Petty at 4,200 metres, you can feel the tension. The pass tomorrow is really dangerous, and we're really excited to do it, but the weather conditions can change super quickly. It's freezing in the morning, so when we get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and put our torchlights on, everyone needs to be ready, including myself. So as everyone hits the pillow the night before, usually early before they get up, they're both feeling super excited about going up the world's highest passable pass, but also very anxious and nervous about what might come tomorrow. What could go wrong up on the pass, there's a couple of different things. People getting hypothermia is a really big one. Through freezing conditions, it is so cold before the sun comes up. The altitude can often get people. We're going up to 5,400 meters, and often people can't handle it. So the combination of all those things. So if people's gear isn't good and they're not physically and mentally prepared for this trip, things can go sideways really quick. And the problem is when you have a group, you need to be able to manage the individual, but also the group in terms of that. So it's really important we have really clear plans on how we're going to manage any individuals that run into problems while keeping the group moving.
Yeah, made it.
Very good. Congratulations.
First of all, thank you so much for coming on the trip and for sharing this moment together. That was probably personally the hardest one I did, but thank you to everyone getting through that. When we were in Poker, we talked about how as a group, we're going to feel that sense of pride. And I'm just so proud of you guys. The connection of the group. For you guys to get up in the time you did as well, you must have worked it as a team. That connection you've got, the insights you've had over the trip, and hearing those are just so amazing. And but I'm not the only one that's proud of you. Your journey started well before you came here. I mean, most of you signed up a year beforehand. So there's lots of people at home that were proud of you. So I've got a couple of letters from people back home, which I've carried to the top.
Oh.
So I just want to share those with you, and I'm sure they're just as proud of you as what I am proud of you. So the pass is about 7 kilometres. I've done this a lot of times, and on this morning my role was actually twofold. One, safety, I was a sweeper, and also I was carrying letters for the group, and no one knew about it. So I felt it was a really important role, and something that I was really looking forward to delivering. And so about 30 minutes in, I started to have what felt like a panic attack. Heart rate went through the roof, I couldn't breathe. And it was really, really scary. I've never had this happen before, and I've climbed up the pass many times before, so it wasn't something that I was actually worried about. At the same time, I had these thoughts wrestling in my mind that I knew that the group was depending on me in terms of safety, and also I had all the letters with me that I had to deliver at the top. So just reaching the top, I was really just overcome with emotion. I physically and emotionally just gave everything I had to get up there. And when I got into the tea house and sat down with the group, was about to deliver these letters, I literally was just overcome with emotion. I put everything into getting up there, and to be sitting there at that moment, absolutely spent, but being able to deliver those letters, meant a lot to me. And yeah, I was just completely overwhelmed. It was unexpected. I wasn't thinking that was going to happen, but it was just one of those things where it just came out. And one of the great things was, it wasn't something I felt embarrassed by or ashamed by. It just felt really natural amongst the group, and to have Nick just put his arm around me and share a moment together was actually really beautiful in the end. And so out of that personal adversity and so forth really came that beautiful connection with Nick, which was a really nice moment, even though it's not something that I'd hope to repeat.
they all said that they'd never heard of anyone ever using a helicopter to get up Tilicho this way.
Nice.
Why? Because we used to go over the pass, but there was a section I'm like, it's too dangerous.
Boarding for the flight to Lake Tilicho will be starting soon. Please change your boarding side.
Cradled in the arms of the Annapurna, at nearly 5,000 metres, lies Tilicho, a lake of sky and silence. Our approach to Lake Tilicho is from the sky, via helicopter, as we weave between and almost within reach of the same Himalayan peaks we celebrated hundreds of kilometres away and days earlier. Fed by ancient glaciers, Tilicho is one of the highest lakes on Earth, a place where the rare air thins and the mountains speak.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah!
I'm in my why. Why wouldn't you, if you can, come and see this, this beautiful part of the planet and just experience an amazing place. Do it in an amazing way.
Stand at its shores is to feel the world stripped bare. No trees, no sound, only rock, ice, and the endless reflection of heaven above.
One of the really big reasons I wanted to come on this trip was I wanted to remind myself what I'm capable of. Life gets in the way, right? It takes away some of your self-esteem with all of the bumps and humps and stuff. Sometimes you need to find a bit of momentum, and that's why I did this. Is if I'm capable of doing this, then I can take that into the rest of my life.
Menang sits at an amazing 3,540 metres above sea level. That's nearly 60% higher than Australia's highest peak, Kosciuszko. It's nestled in the rain shadow of the Annapurna Massif, a place where Himalayan peaks block the monsoon rains, leaving behind a high-altitude desert.
Okay. You okay, bro? Okay.
Good?
Yeah, okay.
That was good.
Yeah.
It was good. I was looking forward for that single trail.
Yeah. Until your bag got a snag.
Yeah, it's had a couple of three.
Its stone houses, centuries-old monasteries and a thriving Tibetan Buddhist culture make Menang a rare window into the life in the high Himalayas. It's a place where traditions endure and every path leads to both survival and an enduring spirit that embraces the Himal.
It's going to be downhill from here. It's an exciting day. It is a very long day, but almost universally everyone says it's their favourite day of riding. It's really cool. Lots and lots of downhill.
Coming through.
Ruth came to me last night and she said that I know that her and Penny are good friends, and that I gave Penny a rumbo char early in the trip, and she's been practicing. And why hadn't I asked her yet? I've been saving this day for her. So, Ruth, it's all you today.
Rumbo char!
Rumbo char!
Why am I doing this? I like travelling, I like adventure, and I like the type of travel where you can learn a bit about the culture, immerse yourself in all the surroundings, the challenge of the adventure, and when an opportunity comes by, I grab it.
I'm Ashish Shrestha, born and raised in Kathmandu, Nepal, and I've been guiding and riding the bike since I was teen. And I really love my job. You meet like different people from around the world. I really love to show our country to the people. The major thing is like I love to be in the mountains. That's why I'm working on this field. I would say mountain biking means the freedom to me, so that's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm loving it.
I think people don't want something to end when they've got connection. So that's connecting with themselves, connecting with the reason that they came, and connecting with the group around them. And it's funny, you have to go through the adversity together as a group to get that connection. And once you got that, humans are wired for connection, and we don't want that to end. So at this point, we've gone through the trenches together as a group, and we just don't want it to end now. So there's that beautiful human connection side, but then there's a sadness of now knowing this is all coming to an end very soon.
Never underestimate yourself. Always believe you can do, and then you definitely end up achieving what you think you're capable of doing. Age is not a barrier; it's just a number, and that's it.
What's happening?
Everyone comes on these trips for different reasons, and it's not for me to decide why someone should be on this trip. That's really personal to them. But one thing I do know is at the end of the trip, whatever the reason someone came for, they've left with a page in their book of life. And it may not be the thing that they came for, but the thing that they leave with is actually the thing that they really needed.
For us to sit there and do this with you has been just an amazing adventure for us. And we know that there's people that have come before us, and we know that there are people that come after us. But for us, this will be a lifetime experience. For every single second of this adventure, even the parts I fucking hate.
One step at a time, and just soak up the atmosphere and soak up the landscape. It's surreal.
I'm gonna find some fossils.
Oh yeah, go down. I go to meet a lot of people from different part of the world and new experience with a lot of peoples, get to know each other's cultures and all.
and able to show how beautiful Nepal is.
Yeah. What a beautiful thing.
Yeah, nice.
Connect with your life, because the only alternative is to be lost in thought. What you can know is that each time you do something pleasant or unpleasant, that is one last time you will do it. And there will come a time when you've done something for the final time, and you'll rarely know when that is.